So we're reviewing the Terminalist Dark Wolf series, which is a prequel series of the Terminalist. Obviously, it's Terminalist Dark Wolf, but those of you who don't know, the Terminalist is a series starring Chris Pratt, where he plays a character known as James Reese, who, after his entire uh, team of his entire team is wiped out due to what is originally suspected to be just bad luck, like terrible luck on the team's on behalf. Turns out to be a bigger picture, and when Reese gets home, his family, his wife and kid, are victims to what happened to the same people who were involved with the killing of his entire team. And so he goes on a revenge warpath, pretty much. And of course, it's called Terminalist, so kind of gives away the name. And like I said, it's a good show. I recommend watching it if you haven't. But the Terminalist Dark Wolf is what I'm going to just call it from now on. The Terminalist Dark Wolf is a prequel series starring one of the characters of the Terminalist, a good friend of James Reese, Ben Edwards. And this prequel series, Dark Wolf, is centered around Ben Edwards. And for the record, guy who plays Ben Edwards is Taylor Kitsch, which is a highly underrated actor in my opinion. So the story follows Ben Edwards as about how he got out of the SEAL teams, and became a CIA asset. Which, for the record, that's the summary of the show. And it's got characters from the books that I freaking love. One of my favorite characters is a prominent character in Dark Wolf, and his name is Raife Hastings, and he is referenced. He's in the first book, and not much so. And he becomes a very bigger character in the later books, but I won't say how or what his involvement is in each of those books. But I will say, read the books; they're worth reading. But going back to the Dark Wolf, like I said, it follows Ben Edwards as he wants to finish a job that he started when he was in the teams, and he wants to keep his brothers downrange safe from bad actors, pretty much. And what happens is it becomes a bigger picture where there's a lot of betrayal. It's a freaking spy espionage, pretty much show. It's good. It's really good. It follows Ben Edwards and Raife Hastings pretty much as Ben and Raife are both kicked out of the teams, and they want to Ben wants to protect his brothers downrange any way he can, and there are consequences to the decisions. But Raife is reluctant because he doesn't trust the CIA after what happened with his family's past. And honestly, those suspicions, those distrusts are completely valid. But they both decide to work together, and they uncover a pretty much a plot to a massive plot that could put the entirety of the U.S. in jeopardy. It could put many nations in jeopardy, and so they pretty much work to stop it. And it's great. It's great. And of course, since it's a prequel series, if you watch the first one, the Terminalist, you'll know how you'll pretty much know how the story ends. Vaguely, you'll know that Ben will be what he will make it through the story. Even then, like they still handled it remarkably well. They handled it remarkably well. They still made it feel like there was still risk to even to the main character, even to Ben as a character, and it's so well written. Like the music choice is so perfect. The music choice is just, oh man, they nailed that on the freaking they hit the nail on the head right there with the music choice. It's so good. And I did catch a cameo from Jack Carr in I believe episode 4 or 5. Keep a lookout for that if you haven't seen it. It's very subtle, and if you see Jack Carr, you'll see him. But it was a cool little cameo, and I like it because um I love Jack Carr. He's a great writer. Like for example, like right here, I have Jack Carr's Savage Son, which is one of my favorite books of the Terminalist series, and it's such a good book. And like I have the Danger Close hat, which is the name of Jack Carr's podcast. Obviously, I'm a pretty big fan of Jack Carr's work. Currently, I am on book number 5 in the Blood, which is a really good book. And overall, I give the show a pretty positive rating. It's a really good show. It's not horribly graphic. In fact, they pretty much censor the gore and all that. They censor the really graphic scenes and all that. And of course, it's a completely original story, so it's not beholden to any. It's not beholden to like to following a complete story that's already made. It's got aspects, it has to respect, but it can take liberties, creative liberties, and all that because it is its own story in the universe of the Terminalist books and show, and it's such a good show, and like I watched it, I loved it, it was so good. Like I said, the music choice was so perfect, and the acting, like the guy who plays Rafe, nailed it. I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, his accent seems a little thick, but I loved it. I thought he was one of the best characters in the show. Um, and his chemistry with Taylor Kitsch with Ben, oh man, it was so good. And there was it, of course, like there's immediately like there's a lot of questions asked in the show and a lot of questions answered in the show. It's really good, and like I said, it doesn't violate any of the stories. In fact, it expands on some of the lore that was like kind of hinted at in the book and in the show, in the book of the Terminalist in the show as well, and it expands on the lore there, and it really gives more depth to Ben Edwards as a character, and it just makes what happens in the Terminalist feel a lot more impactful. And man, it's worth a watch. If you haven't watched it, I recommend watching it. It's such a good show, and it makes me all the more excited uh for a True Believer, which is going to be season 2 of the Terminal List, and that one is, oh brother, in the if you read the book, you'll know how it opens in how the prologue, how it opens in the prologue. Oh my gosh, but man, if they do even half of that in the beginning of the show, oh man, oh that would be one hell of a catch. But yeah, no, it's like I said, the Terminalist, great show. I recommend watching that, and Dark Wolf, I recommend watching it. It's so good, and of course, there's a reference to a character who I also love, which I believe he was introduced in book 3 in yeah, in Savage Son. I believe he was introduced in Savage Son. I just don't remember. Oh man, I don't remember which book he was introduced. And I won't say his name because it's kind of spoilers, but he made his name was referenced in Dark Wolf, and I was pretty excited for that because he's a great character. And man, I love this whole universe of the Dark Wolf of the Terminalist series. It's so awesome. I mean, like we get to see a Navy SEAL just does not care. He has a mission. He follows through with the mission, and it's so good. And like I said, watch the Terminalist and Dark Wolf. They are both phenomenal shows. And if you want more of it, I recommend reading I recommend reading the books because oh man, there's 7 books right now. There's Terminalist, there's True Believer, there's Savage Son, there's The Devil's Hand, there's In the Blood, which is number 5. There's Only the Dead, and then there's Red Sky Morning, and then there's the Jack Carr's um, nonfiction story, which is Beirut, talking about the Beirut bombings and all that. And then there's one book I've not gotten yet, and I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to read it. Is a prequel book series, which is of course it's not about Ben Edwards. It's a Vietnam era story, and I can't wait for that. So I recommend reading the books if you like reading. They're really good reads, and this is such a good book. Like this one here, Savage Son, mm, peak. But man, it's so good. But yeah, like I said, overall, I give high praise to Dark Wolf and high praise to Terminalist. This is pretty much a review of both the shows, but they're both so good. I recommend watching them, especially if you love action, especially if you love thrillers. They're really good, and man, just watch the shows. If you can't read the books, they pretty much they do adapt the Terminalist book pretty accurately. They do make creative liberty and some changes and all that, but they're all done at the author's approval, and it works for the show. It gives more like some more surprise and more, but it keeps the core story intact perfectly. It just like man, and Chris Pratt sells it as James Reese, and Taylor Kitsch, perfect choice for Ben Edwards, and man, Rafe Hastings. Oh man, perfect casting for Rafe. It took me a minute to warm up to him, his heavy accent, but man, I love it. He's such a great. It was such a great cast, and I cannot wait to see. Man, I cannot wait to. I just can't wait to see. I can't wait to see more. I can't. I'm trying to avoid spoiling too much of the books and what's going to happen in True Believer, because of course, right here, right here, True Believer. Oh man, it's such a good story. And man, like it's so good. Jack Carr, phenomenal writer. He deserves all the praise he can get. So I recommend watching the shows. If even if you don't have time to read the books, watch the shows. Terminalist is very faithful to source material, and of course, like Jack Carr is heavily involved with Terminalist. He was heavily involved with Dark Wolf. He's heavily involved with True Believer. Man, it's just great. And keep in mind, if you're worried about this being a kind of typical Hollywood action movie, they are working hand in hand with actual Navy SEALs. Hence, Jack Carr, who is a Navy SEAL, right here. Jack Carr, who is an actual Navy SEAL. They're working, and he's got other SEAL. They got other SEALs and all that. Who, in fact, as those you don't know, a lot of the guys who play SEALs in the movie, in the show, are actually SEALs. Like they're actually Navy SEALs, and it's really cool. And they can give their opinions, and how SEALs operate, how they clear rooms, how they how they breach doors, how they operate their unit formations and all that. They are. It makes it feel so much more authentic, and it's not the typical where you see a guy holding a freaking AR-15 and he with a 30-round magazine, and he fires fucking 250 rounds out of that same magazine. But like they actually reload. They do tactical reloads, and it sells the authenticity of the story in both the Terminalist and Dark Wolf. I could go on and on and on about this. I love them both. Watch the shows; they're pretty freaking good. So just watch them; they're good. Anyway, that's all I've got. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Let me know if you've seen it, and if you have, let me know what you thought of it. And as always, I like I said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe and share on your preferred social media platform. And as always, God bless and peace out, my friends.